Hey, you guys. Welcome to the Prosperity Podcast. I'm your host, Samia, and I'm back with another episode. So today I have a special guest, my homie, Will. Hey, Will. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking, and thanks for coming. This is actually our first time meeting, y'all. We met through a mutual friend. Yep. I had asked David if he knew somebody that could do like entertainment for my event, because this is my first event. So he had told me, he showed me your Instagram, and I was locked in ever since.
So you like what you're?
Yes, I definitely like what you do. So Will is an entrepreneur, CEO of People Love Poetry and People Love Karaoke. And I wanted to ask you, Will, well, you can introduce yourself and say what you do, but I did my little research.
I like the question. You go right into the questions. I don't never know what to say about myself.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, like I said, Will is an entrepreneur, CEO of People Love Poetry and People Love Karaoke. And Will, I feel like poetry is like therapy. Would you agree with me?
I would definitely agree.
Okay. And how did you get into poetry?
Okay, so the funny thing about it, like a lot of people, in high school, I wanted to be a rapper.
Okay.
And so I had like, a little rap group or whatever, we used to do shows and stuff like that. But then you get older and you realize like, I'm really not a rapper for real.
Yeah.
Like I'm decent, but not big enough to be whatever. And, but like playing with words and stuff like that, having a gift of gab, knowing how to express yourself in a creative way, that side of me never left. And so I'm like, damn, how can I like do that without rapping? Right. So that's when I found poetry. Okay. I was in Cleveland and I was looking just for stuff to do on Eventbrite. And I saw an open mic and I didn't know what an open mic was. And I went and I met a lot of dope people. And from there,
you just big boy. Yeah. That's what's up. When I was younger, I used to write poetry.
Okay. Oh, you know that. Yeah, see, so you had the breeze on with you?
No, I didn't read. I was hoping that you could you could do something for us, but I want to get back into it. Like I'm gonna start coming to ratchet ass poetry night.
Poetry.
I'm gonna start coming to your events and stuff because I like that type of stuff, and I feel like the older we get, and that's the type of vibe. Like the last event I've been to that was like that, probably was like in college, and that was a long time ago. So I definitely want to come to some of your events. Like when I be watching the clips and stuff, I'm like, okay, this is cool. Yeah, that's pretty dope. Like poetry is like a form of art. You know what I mean? And I love art. I love creativity. I love all things like that. And poetry is just pretty dope because like you can say anything. Like you literally can make it your own. It's not no right or wrong way of doing it.
And that's what I specialize in with People Love Poetry. Like mine, because there's a couple open mics in the city. But mine is kind of known for being the one where you can come and say and I mean literally anything.
Come as you are.
Of course, one to say like hate speech, nothing like that. But as far as just like whatever you're thinking, whatever's on your mind, you don't have to limit it. You don't have to like edit it. You don't have to censor it. You say whatever you feel.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I wanted to ask you, how does your everyday life influence poetry?
Oh, wow. So to me, every experience you have is a chance for expression. So a lot of times when negative things happen to people, or like if you get cut off in traffic, or if you just are having a bad day, people just allow that to ruin the rest of their day.
Yes, that's true. And that ruin other people's day.
And then so now it's just a continuous cycle of just, but how I look at it, something negative happening to me throughout the day, that's a chance for me to write about it. And it's just, it also takes the burden off my shoulder as well. So like once you write about it, you get it out, and then you get to perform in front of people, and then people, they have that same shared experience. Now you don't feel like, oh man, it's just me dealing with this.
It's like a weight lifted off your shoulders.
Exactly. And it creates community with other people.
Right, because now other people is, okay, I'm not the only one. Sometimes when you're going through stuff, you feel like you're the only one. So when you hear other people say it, it's kind of like a relief for you too. Like, oh, it's nice to know that I'm not the only one that feel that way.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. And I also wanted to ask you too, like, can you walk me through your writing process?
So my writing process, I don't even know if it's different from others. I've never really talked to anybody about what my writing process is. So I walk around my apartment and I just, like I may have this one phrase and I may be like, ooh, what rhymes with that? And so I start off with the rhyming first, and then my subject matter comes like later.
Okay.
Yeah. So I really just like to rhyme certain words creatively, and then I like to bring my subject matter in after.
That's pretty cool.
So,
You say you walk around
I walk around. Yeah. I really don't. I'm not capable of really just sitting down and writing.
Yeah.
I have to walk around and like, cause when I perform, that's how I perform. I'm very expressive. I use my hands. Yeah. Make eye contact with the crowd. So that's how I practice my writing.
That's pretty cool. And how long does it take you?
It depends. So the heavier the subject matter, the longer it takes. But the lighter the subject matter, I can get it out fast. Or if I'm writing about something that I'm experiencing right then, like that happened that day, I can get it out like that.
That's
so
cool.
Same day.
That's pretty cool because like I used to think I was gonna be a singer rapper too. Yeah. And I always said like if people make me mad, if I knew how to rap, I'd go to this.
Put out a diss track. You still can make a diss track. Like you can put it on.
I think I'm gonna put that on my bucket list. Like that would be fun. Like no, I want to go to the real studio though.
This feature me. I'm okay.
That'd be so cool. What's your favorite type of poem to write and why?
So, of course, I go by LoveHomieWill.
Yeah, I see you
like to write about love.
You love love.
But I love love. But I also like to write about, like, the negative sides of love. So, like, when somebody pisses you off, I like to write about it. When somebody has those shortcomings, like in a relationship, I love to write about it. Getting on your ass. So, yeah, mainly love.
You be writing, so you did wrote poems about your exes?
No, I'm going to say about my exes. I always say this. I always say that I don't write poems about people.
Okay.
I write poems about
experiences, yes.
So if there's no poem that I have about one particular person when it comes to like the disses. They're about all of them. Like all the times that they all piss me off. And I find that it's easier to not personalize it. Because what a lot of people do, they'll write a poem about one person. And then you end up like hating that person. And so now you don't want to ever perform it no more because it reminds you of that person.
It's triggered.
It's triggered.
Yeah,
It's triggered. And I don't like that feeling. So
I think that's very smart of you to make it like you said, like it's a whole, it's for
It's a conglomerate, yes.
But talk about me, like, nah, this for everybody. Slowly.
And then you always got the plausible deniability. You like, was that line about me? No, it wasn't. It was about everybody.
It was about everybody that pissed me off. I like that. Because that's me. What you talking about? That's everybody that pissed me off.
Because it should be.
Like Cinderella.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. What message do you hope readers take away from your poetry? Your poetry collection?
The main message I want people to take is that expressing yourself is okay. A lot of times we live in a society where like people feel like they have to do things a certain way, to say things a certain way because they don't want to upset a certain, today you're like super sensitive. Everything is super sensitive. Everybody's offended by everything. And I want people to not worry about that because when you express yourself, it's yourself. It's not for anybody else to misinterpret. It's for you to interpret. It's for you to get off your chest. And so I really just hope people just like express yourself in your true way. Don't feel like you got to conform to anything.
I like that. So basically, speak your truth. Be yourself. It's okay with being yourself. I love that because that's what we stand for here on Prosperity Podcast. Be yourself. Ain't nothing wrong with that because I do feel like we live in a world where you feel like you got to look, walk, talk, eat, think, sleep a certain type of way. And it's just like, man, be yourself. God made you for a reason. And we all special in our own way. Like, I wish people would just be themselves more.
You get back to the individuality because, like, my dad used to always say, nobody can be you better than you can be you.
Exactly.
So we got a bunch of people trying to be other people, then there's no creativity in the world.
No originality.
No
Exactly.
specialness in the world. So
I like that. That's a good one. And I see you just did spoken word in Atlanta.
I did. Yeah, I have.
I watched the story and I kind of chuckled to myself. Like, I know we just met each other, but that made me happy to see that. Like, you can tell when somebody is genuinely passionate and genuinely have a calling and love something that you on vacation and you found, you know what I mean? So I was like, it was funny because when I have people come on the podcast, I always like do research on y'all and like base my questions off of that. And so when I seen that I had all my stuff done, I said, I'm gonna add that to my list. That was my last question I had for you. I'm like, oh, he did that in Atlanta? Gotta ask him about that. So tell me, how was it? Like, was it different from, how was spoken word in Atlanta compared to here in Cleveland?
The spoken word I stumbled upon because it's so funny because each spoken word has a different vibe. Let's say my vibe, like People Love Poetry, is more so we're part of these poetry. So we kick it, we have a good time, we say whatever. And then you have other ones that are more like reserved and more. And so the one I stumbled upon, it was a lot more reserved and very attentive to what you're saying. But my poetry isn't like that. And so I got up and I was like, I came in, I was just trying to see what the vibe was. Yeah. But I ain't gonna worry about that. And then I got into my poem. Right. And they loved it anyway. That's good. So when I first started, I used to be like, I gotta see what the vibe is. I gotta see what kind of poetry you're doing. And I would read the room. Read the room. I don't read the room no more. The room got to read me. You know what I'm saying? I wake them up. I wake them up. And what I found out is people appreciate that. Yeah. So I feel like even, you being yourself. So I feel like with that, what you saying, like your message, you want people to be themselves. I feel like that just correlate even more with you walking in rooms being yourself. That'll help people too before you even speak. You just being yourself. That's good. I love that. And before we leave, I gotta ask you to do something. You gotta do something for us. Yeah, you gotta do something for us. Okay. So I'll do my. Can I cuss? Yeah. It's time to see everybody come in. You can be yourself. No. You can be yourself. You fine. So this is probably my favorite poem. Okay. Form. This poem was inspired by a poet in Columbus. Okay. And I kind of wrote my version of their poem. Queen of the Street Poet is her name. Okay. Okay. So are you ready? Yeah. To die. No. About that bitch. Because for one, I really do want it to myself. And for two, I refuse to live a life where I see her be with somebody else. So riddle me this. Are you ready to die about that bitch? Like, are you ready to go to that extreme? How fast this thing could go from her being a woman of your dreams to you laying down dead in a hospital bed. You done lost all of your ability to even have a dream. Now, before y'all get mad at me, and if you want to see the rest, y'all should come out to Samia's live event on April 12th. Yes. And you should also come out to People Love Poetry. You can follow People Love Poetry on Instagram at People Love Poetry or me at LoveHomieWill. So there's just a little snippet, before I get started. That was good. I can't wait. I can't wait for you to perform at my event. That's gonna be a good time. Do you know what you're gonna do? I haven't decided yet. There's actually a new poem I wrote. Okay. And it's kind of about entrepreneurship in a way. This is before I even know I was going to do your event. Oh, wow. But when I was, because I had to practice memorizing it, of course, I was realizing how it would be the perfect poem to perform at this event. Yeah. So look at y'all. Yeah. It's so crazy. And even like last week when you wrote me, like that too, like that touched me too. Like God just is good for real. And I'm just really grateful, not being from here, being able to make those genuine connections with other like-minded, passionate people. Exactly. That's what it's all about. So I'm happy that you got to come. I'm happy I got to meet you before the event. I'm happy that you got to come on a podcast. Is there anything that you want to ask me or say before we wrap it up? So, I was kind of doing my research too, Okay. And I was just kind of wondering, when did you, okay, so check this out. Everybody nowadays gonna say they want to do a podcast. Yeah. Everybody says it. Facts. But what made you really take it so serious? Because one of the things that made me want to do it, I'm like, oh, she seriously does this. I was just going through your highlights and stuff like that. And I've seen you've been at it. You've been at it for 2 hours. So. I appreciate that. What's so crazy is I just started the end of 2023. But when I went to school, I went to the University of Toledo. That's where I met D. Hill. That's how I know him. When I went for communications. My major was communications. So I originally wanted to be a news anchor. And I took the class and everything. And when I watched the video, when I watched the video, it was getting boring. It just was looking like I was reading from a teleprompter. So I'm like, okay, I don't think I want to do that no more. So then I took radio and I loved it.
It was so much fun. And then like my parents are entrepreneurs, so I come from entrepreneurship. So I do hair and I make wigs. And people always would tell me like I have a distinctive voice. Like people remember my voice. So yeah, like I don't know. Like at first I was doing hair, but I went to school for communication, so I knew I wanted to do something with talking. I worked behind the camera, like I worked with ESPN, recording during school, like just was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Yeah, and I had been wanting to do the podcast for real, but I was doing hair, and I felt like I was connected with people through hair, and then it was just like, I love talking. Like I wanted to I wanted to be a YouTuber all my life. So I was doing YouTube, but I would be consistent until I wasn't. Like I always fell off at some point. And then I got married, had my own kids, and it was just like, I always wanted to do this podcast. Why am I like waiting? Like it was just like something just clicked. Like, what am I waiting for? My best friend is a graphic designer. I know how to do websites. I went to school for all of this. So what am I waiting on? So I just did it. Like I just did it one day, and it's literally been going like, but my name Prosperity Podcast came from, I have a cosmetics line. So I'm into beauty. I do hair, and I got a cosmetics line that I launched in 2020, and that's called Prosperity's Cosmetic. So when I was like, I want to do a podcast, I'm like, I'm still going to follow that name and just Prosperity Podcast, because what it stands for, uplift, encourage, and inspiring people. And I feel like that's what God has put me here to do, was to uplift. And, I feel like when I say stuff to people really remember it, or it seems like people really resonate with it. I feel like I really have a way of words and a way with connecting with people. So I just got out of my own way one day and just did it. And I've just been consistent. I told myself I'm going to stay consistent. Like I've always wanted to be monetized on YouTube. This is the most consistent I've ever been, posting my episodes every week, and I enjoy doing it. So that's how I got into it. Not to talk your head off, but I had to take you through the backstory.
That makes sense. Anytime I see somebody stick with something, I always wonder what made you stick with. Because like you said, so much stuff we do in life, we just, we pick up everything, we put it down.
Exactly.
So I be wondering what made you stick with that thing.
I love talking. Like I used to get in trouble for talking growing up.
Now it's paying off.
I love, exactly. Now it's paying off. I love talking, and now, I'm a mom and I'm a wife. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I work for myself so I can be a stay-at-home mom. I enjoy this even more now because I'm at home talking to kids all day, little kids. You know what I mean? So I enjoy the adult interaction of it. I enjoy interviewing people, helping them put themselves out there. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like it's a win for everybody. It's a win-win for everybody. So it's pretty cool. And not being from here, I have met some really cool people. Like it makes me more open to like, I have no choice but to find new people to come on my podcast. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And I'm just going to try to keep staying consistent. Like I'm having fun with it. I feel like people fall off when they start feeling like things feel like a job. You know what I mean? That's when it's not fun no more, when it's like, oh, gotta do this. I wake up, I'm happy. I'm planning my episodes out. Like I'll be excited. So, and I'm going to do this event, and I hope that, I'm not going to say I hope, that's something I've been trying to work on. It's going to go good. And when it goes good, I'm going to keep doing it. But I'm excited, though, because I've never hosted an event. Like, I've never put an event together. So I'm, like, really looking forward to it for real. Like, it's a really big deal for me.
Right. Is that, and I'm going to drag some people. Not drag them, but I'm going to make them come with.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I was going to say that, like,
yeah, well, my brain.
Send some people to buy some tickets, man. And it was funny, too, like, hearing you say when I let you in, you were on the phone, like, yeah, Cleveland bought tickets last minute. I just interviewed the person that was just on my podcast last week. He's going to be on the panel, but he's a party host, too. And he was saying that, too, like, you're going to get, like, a last-minute rush of people. Because I'm like, I only sold 15 tickets. And like, don't worry, like, you're going to get a lot of people buying their ticket, like, 2-3 days before the event. I'm like, that's frustrating.
Like, don't worry at all. 15 in advance is a good number, because that means you're going to have probably twice as much as that. As you get closer to the event,
yeah,
people are going to be just buying them.
That's crazy. How does that make you feel, like, hosting events and planning events? Do that make you feel, like, nervous, or do you know it's just a part of the game at this point? Like, you know.
I used to get nervous. But then, like, just from doing it over and over again, just saying, like, this is kind of how it is. Yeah. Like, now I don't even sweat it.
Yeah.
I don't even sweat it. The guy that I'm doing Ratchet Ass, funny story, the guy that I'm doing Ratchet Ass Poetry with, my guy K. Smith. This was our first time doing an event together. And I think 2 days before we had sold like 12 tickets.
Oh, wow.
Only 12 tickets. Now, mind you, we want like 100 people here. So we probably nervous. He's nervous. I wasn't nervous. I'm like, bro,
Okay. Yeah.
So we're sitting in the Africa's lobby. He's just sitting here like this. Because, you know, everybody else is talking. We chilling. People walking in. He's sitting there like this. I'm like, bro, you good? Like, what's wrong? He was like, nothing. Talked to him the next day after we had over 100 people. I was like, you was nervous as hell. That's how he was. That's how he was. He was like, yeah, man. I'm like, it's 10 o'clock with nobody here. I'm like, that's so funny.
This is part of the game. Well, that's refreshing to know. It's nice to know. Keep that in mind.
And you doing something good, too. So.
Yeah, something positive. Well, I'm so happy you got to come on. Thanks again. I can't wait. Like I said, follow him. I'm going to make sure I put your @name on the screen. Make sure y'all follow him. And if you in Cleveland, make sure you come out to his poetry events and karaoke. You do karaoke too?
I do karaoke too. Yeah, I do karaoke.
That sounds fun. So, and if y'all ever want to book him for y'all weddings, events, like book him.
Yeah, I do it all. Even if you want me to just come to your living room real quick and just spit over dinner, I would do that too. So, you know.
Spit over dinner is crazy.
Not spit on your dinner. I know it. That came out wrong. Y'all know what I'm trying to do.
But that was funny, All right, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, give your girl a 5-star review. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're in Ohio, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Columbus, pull up April 12th to the event. Like, if you're not at this event, what are you doing? That's all, you guys. Thanks, y'all. Have a good one. Peace.